NBA 2K26 builder has been revealed with a bunch of different official builds also revealed, 99 overall. We can see the potential. And now I've been doing a lot of labbing up on each of these, breaking them down and helping you understand all the new features as well. Things like max plus twos, cap breakers being changed, specializations giving you extra cap breakers, and max plus ones and twos. You're basically going to have a crazy time in the builder trying to make the exact build you want. And I want to cover that today by going through one of the builds. This is actually a build, I think it's one of the best builds that they presented as far as the 8 or so builds that they already revealed. And I believe that, with minor tweaks, this can be a viable build that people will play in the game and utilize to be efficient with. Personally, it's something that I like to do, and I think everybody else will have a good time with as well. It's pretty straightforward and fun. So, in the background, we're going to just talk about them very quickly. A lot of new elements that are added to this builder. Okay. You're going to be able to get yourself max plus ones and plus twos, basically enhancing and leveling up your badges, which is such a great feature. It's going to be dynamic to be able to take you to that next level. The other thing is the specializations. This is just quest, basically challenges that you can do. Hit 200 shots, you'll get everything, which basically gives you max plus ones or cap breakers. If you don't know what cap breakers are, it's a new feature that came into 2025 and into 2026. You're going to be able to use it. And basically, what it means is you get your character to a certain level, and then you can go beyond that within the potential of the build, as you're seeing here. Okay, just keep that in mind. If you haven't been watching my channel, then that'll help you kind of just be prepared for the next conversation that I'm going to bring in, which has to do with this build right here. This is the BD, aka Baron Davis build. And if you look closely, you'll see that it has a lot of stuff that I love. First of all, it's a 99 overall, right? Small guard at 6'2" for 2025. 6'2", 6'3s, and 6'4s were the meta. Basically the strongest kind of build you could create with the best potential for a guard. And overall, the build has a lot of what I like, and it's something I would make more or less. I would tweak it, but I just want to showcase and discuss it just a little bit. So we're going to start off with the finishing. You can see right here, it has strong finishing. I mean, very strong finishing. It's going to be able to dunk on people with contact dunks for small guards at 87. That's the threshold for last year. Maybe they changed this. I don't know what's going on with the animations. They usually stay the same for requirements for the most part. And then layups at an 88. This is important to have these two together because when you go for a dunk and it turns into a layup, you want this high. That's very helpful. Then for shooting, it's 89. And what I can say about this is that it's going to give you that soft specialist on gold, which is more than enough to shoot very well. All right, I was shooting with a 78 and popping off with that thing in 2K25. I'm assuming 2K26 will have a similar system shooting wise. And what I do love the most is the defense on this build. You're going with a 91 steal, which is the meta for 2K25 and might be the meta again, because that's going to give you the gold gloves and interceptor, which is just going to make you a good defender. And then the perimeter defense at 85 is something I've done one of my builds on last year, and I was dominating as a small 5'11" or 5'9" or something like that. And I was able to really lock up because I had silver badges, some gold. It just works very well. So for me, for a guard position, you're going to be being okay. You're going to be good out there. And then last but not least, the most important thing, I don't like this. This is something subject to change till we know the meta for the actual U version of this builder, because the values and things might change. Lightning launcher on an 86 gold isn't good enough for a point guard. You have to run the ball and you have to be able to launch out of your moves fast. So unless they're going to use their max plus twos on this, I wouldn't recommend it that low. But this year, since there's max plus ones and twos, this is something that maybe at an 86 will be the new meta, and you'll be able to utilize it well. Then the handles, all right, at a 90, okay, it is not good. Not good at all. You basically can get handles for days on gold, which is great, but you're 6'2". You want to be able to break ankles. You want to be able to get unpluckable at a higher clip. And this is not it. So you have to get those handles higher. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate what I have and the way I made the build. Okay. I do already have this build made, and I just want to kind of showcase it to you guys and give you guys a quick look on more or less what it would actually be if we remade this in the 2K25. Okay. Remember, this is 2K25, the exact same build. Now, the tweaks that I would make just off of RIP is a 91 for Hall of Fame lightning launcher on this right here. But again, maybe I don't want to waste my time and I can just use the actual Max Plus 2s on that. And then ball handle at a 95. When you're 6'2", you're going for the Steve Francis. You're going to have to use 5 of your cap breakers on this, which is totally fine. We don't know where you can earn cap breakers within the rep system or the battle pass yet. So we can't, nobody in the YouTube world will tell you the truth right now. They're going to lie. Fine. We don't know for sure. So just take that with a grain of salt until we know when do you earn these. Not everybody's going to be able to earn all the cap breakers. I said that last year and I'll say it this year. If it's in the rep system, it's a grind to get them. Okay. Those are the 2 things that I would change on this build, guaranteed. These 2, but I have to wait and see from there. Also, for the 3, you want to be somebody who lights it up. Okay. You want to be somebody who can really dominate with this and go crazy. But since he has great finishing, you can also kind of focus on the mid-range, okay? And then just boost up this as high as you can. It's another method to go if you really feel like you have to take it to that next level, right? So one or the other, either boost up the 3 all the way, get it as high as you can, lowering some other stuff, but that'd be the case. As well as cap breakers, okay? If I can get a cap breaker to go to actually 89, then that allows me to get good overall setup. But I need my vertical to match that. Okay. So we're going to just boost this vertical to 80. Now I got it at 89. We're good to go. Okay. So what that means is if I really wanted to, I can get this to gold, maybe Hall of Fame if I really want to be a dunker. Then of course, 45 for this. But again, with the new cap breaker system that I talked about, you can basically bypass that and just have it at 30 and then use the cap breaker to make the build viable. 1 cap breaker on here probably gives you 10 points and you can have that 45 just like you wish. So those are the kind of tweaks. This is an interesting year because like I said, maybe I only need it at 35. And then what I do is I use 1 cap breaker on here and it'll go to 45, because the new system is giving way more than 1 point. So that is a very viable thing. Then other than that, the build is good. Of course, we need speed. I don't feel like this is the best for the build. A low speed under 90 for a guard. That's going to be the ball handler. And then defensively, you want to stay in front of your guys. I would put that up a little bit, but you can use your cap breakers not to waste all your points, things like that. Of course, adjusting this build to your liking. You don't want to dunk on nobody, that's fine. Turn this all the way down, use it for layups a little bit, add some more standing dunk, change up the build and tweak all of this personally. Okay. That's the way I like to go. If I'm a slasher though, I love having an 85 for the bailout because you might not know it, but after a while, if you're trying to bail out of a dunk or a layup, think it's going to go bad, this will save you. So these are the things. And so now we know more or less what is possible in the builder. Issues are the cap breakers system, which is revolutionary to a certain extent. And then on top of that, the other systems with the specialization and things that really change the game drastically for people who, are not familiar. So if you see right here, by the end of the day, you're going to have 8 levels of badges that you can upgrade. Okay. You got max plus ones. You got 2 of those. You got 2 max plus twos, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have the specializations. There's 2 more of those. And that equals 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, actually. 9 levels of badge progression that you can skip up within your build, okay? So that is insane. So how does that work? You know, as far as making your build better, it's going to depend on what you feel you need. For the guards, having shooting high, having playmaking high. For example, the question that I have is, does lightning launcher need to have fast speed? If I lowered my speed with ball and I just maxed out the actual potential of the badge and made it into a legend badge, will this max me out? That's the type of questions that I have that I'm a little bit curious on testing. I'm going to do a video about that, breaking that down, but it's just my question right now. And it's kind of just a theory, of course, until we get our hands on the game and fully test it ourselves. Okay. But those are the type of things where just one badge, 2 levels higher, can change the game for you. Okay. Maybe my dribbles is low and I'm a big 6'8", 6'7" guard, but I have unpluckable or handles for days on Hall of Fame or Legend just because of this new system. It's definitely doable. Definitely something that could be interesting and dynamic for people who, you know, want to try and make the best build possible. Okay. Those are the type of things that I'm looking into and that I want to kind of make sure you, if you're watching my channel, you'll get that information once I get it. Everybody's speculating right now until the game releases. I'll tell you this, there's a community day where there's a bunch of creators get sent over there and all they do is they play test. They're basically free play testers. And they get promotion and it's amazing for their brand, but it's not actually the full game yet because they still tweak things. I remember people going to the playtest, getting the actual animation requirements, and then 2 days before the game released, the developer said, hey, we're changing all that. They changed a lot of them. This was a couple years ago. So the point behind that is that don't just expect anything that you're hearing to be cement. And I don't want nobody to go out there and say, that's the build I'm going to make, that Baron Davis, the tweaks that he made on it. No, don't do it because you're going to hurt your pocket because it costs some money. If you don't spend the money, you're going to spend hours grinding. Make sure you have the right build. Personally, to be safe, I would tweak a lot of this. And for example, I would want to buff my speed with ball and my ball handling to make sure I get the C Francis, to make sure I get this thing. And then if I can get other elements, you know, I'll do that. So for example, I'll go with a 787 and then I'll try and get this to a 90. It's not working. Well, I can start lowering something. What can I lower? And so for me personally, I'll just keep tweaking until I get there. You know, finding ways and things. For example, this can actually go to a 78, but I'm going to keep it at an 80 for future plans. I got an extra plan on that. But then from there, I'm like, you know what? This dribbling isn't working for what I want. Shooting, let me lower this, let me lower that. My layups don't need to be that high. I'm going to try to just dunk on people the whole time. We'll go with an 80, fine right there. And then now I can throw this in here. All of a sudden, my dribbling is getting to where I want it. Or I can just do what I said earlier, lightning launcher on the Hall of Fame. Now I can do a max +1 on that. My build is reliable. There's going to be a lot of different things that you can do depending on how you want to spend your max +1s and all that. So do not rush. Take your time. I got you covered right here. And by the way, I'm doing deep dives. The next video is going to really be the big one to help you with understanding these systems and how they can play out. All right. See you on the next one. Peace.